Good day, everyone. Welcome to a Canvas Live session. Canvas Live sessions are presented by Canvas community members or Instructure employees to help Canvas users improve and enhance their teaching and learning with Canvas. Today, we have our pro user, luminary status in our Canvas community, Rob Ditto. Rob, tell us what we're going to talk about today. Hi, Rob.
Hey, it's good to see you. Hello, everybody who's watching our Canvas Live demo. So today I'm going to talk about the new scheduler workflow and how appointment signups work with that feature option. It's a sort of a revamp of scheduler. If you didn't have scheduler, before, if it doesn't sound familiar, it's an optional add-on to the Canvas calendar, where once it's enabled, teachers and TAs can do signups for office hours or presentations or any other kind of time-based appointment where students need to sign up for specific time slots. And the new scheduler workflow simplifies this whole feature in some great ways, and I'll talk about exactly how it's simpler and better. So I'm at the University of Pennsylvania at the business school there, Wharton, and my email address at the bottom. You can also find me by this name or this email in the Canvas community. So scheduler itself has always been a special feature that your institution has to enable, and they need to work with the customer success manager. That's a Canvas employee who works with your institution to make that feature available in the Canvas calendar. With the new scheduler workflow that was introduced in a release of Canvas earlier this spring, the feature option to use the new scheduler is yet another one of these CSM-enabled features. So if you were a teacher or supporting a group of teachers and you wanted to have this feature, this new scheduler feature turned on, start with a dialogue with the Canvas admins on your campus and tell them about what you're seeking to accomplish to use the new workflow for scheduler. They, depending on their preferences, they may want to have you test it first on what's called the test instance of Canvas, and then enable it for production, meaning real courses, real students later on. But those admins will need to talk to their regular contact at Canvas, their customer success manager, in order to enable what's called the feature flag, the way that Canvas admins turn on new features or keep them turned off, say, until the start of a new semester, so that for the users at that institution, your experience of using Canvas doesn't change in dramatic ways during a particular semester or other term that you have. Once you can get that feature flag and your admins can turn it on, it'll look like this with the green checkbox on the line saying use the new scheduler. In the admin feature options panel, new scheduler for now is still considered beta. At Penn, we were able to test it using an early beta version, and we've had it on since January, and it genuinely has simplified the calendar experience for appointment signups for our students and faculty. And in the next few slides, I'm going to talk about how that is the case. So if you used old scheduler, you're probably used to remembering there's week, month, agenda, and then there was this extra button called scheduler. And in order to do anything with appointments, you had to go click on that scheduler, and students were starting out at this list of appointment group names that they'd have to understand and click on before they could do anything. With the new scheduler workflow turned on, that all goes away. appointment sign up becomes just another type of event in the Canvas calendar. So when you press the plus button, and I'll demonstrate this in a little bit, when you go to your calendar as a teacher or TA and press the plus button, your edit event pop-up will have a new tab that is appointment group. And if you click that tab, which I'll show in the demo, you get all of the creation options that you would work with to set up a bunch of time slots that you want students to reserve. New Scheduler also changes the student experience for signing up. Just as with the teacher and TA view, that scheduler button goes away. The goal of this project, as you can read about in Canvas Studio, I'll give the link to the Canvas Studio page for scheduler calendar integration at the end, is for appointment signups to move out of that specialized mode with that button for scheduler and to have it really feel like appointment scheduling is part of the calendar. Since on an everyday basis, the calendar is more about events, including events you're signed up for, as well as assignments, it wasn't necessary to have all of the extra stuff that's needed to help students reserve an appointment by default. But when students are prompted to sign up for appointments, which happens via a notification, they can go to the calendar and press the Find Appointment button. Find Appointment only appears when their courses offer available appointments that take place in the future. And after pressing that Find Appointment button, more features are turned on for students, where they can choose a course, and it'll be only those courses that have appointments that are scheduled in the future. So they choose one course with appointments available and press Submit. And then finally, in their regular views of the calendar, in week view and month view or agenda view, they can look for this new icon. This is part of New Scheduler, the sort of old style flip calendar, but with a plus button, meaning something in the calendar that you can sign up for. Students can now do signing up, or what New Scheduler calls reserving an appointment, in any view of the calendar. And the reserve dialog itself is really unchanged from old Scheduler if you're used to that. It tells you the name of the appointment group. For calendar, that's really what course is it. If the teacher is only wanting a certain number of students to be able to sign up for a time slot, that limit is shown to the student. Optionally, the teacher or TA may say, I want one student to see who other students who are signed up for the same appointment, who that should be, and who those are, rather. And that's a teacher and TA configurable option. If a student has any comments she wishes to make when reserving the appointment, that's what that box is for. And then finally, you click Reserve. When you're in this Find Appointment mode, as a student, your available appointments in this course that you've selected show up. And the reason why there's still a mode where you go into Find Appointment mode, do your reservations, and then close is that only during Find Appointment mode are the time slots available for you to sign up for. That's the only time that those are shown. The goal is for you to reserve the one that you want, then close Find Appointment mode. Then you get back to the normal calendar. You don't see any tentative appointments. You're not confused about, oh, okay, I didn't sign up for that that appointment. Why is it showing up in my calendar? Because there's a clear Find Appointment mode that you work in. For the teaching team, New Scheduler has a benefit that our faculty noticed right away when we enabled it. With the old scheduler, you had to wait for a student to sign up for a particular time slot before that time slot would show up on your calendar separately from in scheduler mode. Before, in other words, before that appointment that the student had reserved would show up in your week, month, and agenda they had to sign up first. It was like chicken and egg. So a common support question for me in my role as a Canvas admin would be, hey, I just created this appointment group. Why don't I see the time slots on my calendar? With new scheduler workflow enabled, now they do. And this is a lot easier for our professors and TAs to understand, just what was the effect of creating their appointment group. Another benefit is that new scheduler surfaces more information about the status of each time slot without even having to click. If you're in the agenda view, you get the count of how many time slots are left, as well as the names, the sortable display name of each student who is signed up. There's also this button called Group Details, which will take you to a screen where you can look at all of the created time slots, add more, and see their status. This screenshot that I have here is the detail of the bottom of the Group Details page. So all of the scheduling options, and I'll demonstrate all this in a moment, are shown higher on the page. Then there's a spot where you can message students who have signed up or haven't signed up for any appointment in the time slot. And then you get a summary. This, with the check icon, this is a appointment time that at least one student has signed up for, and it's shown as reserved. If you've been following scheduler-related feature ideas in the community, this part of New Scheduler basically implements the idea about, hey, I need a report of whether students signed up for time slots in my calendar. And it's been really great to have that new capability. So I'm going to switch to, we'll look at the teacher view first. I think it is here. Great. Make this a little bit bigger. Awesome. All right. So in any view of my calendar, I can start to create a new event, whichever way I want, either by clicking on the date or by clicking the plus button, and then choose the appointment group tab. If you've used old scheduler in the past, this part here probably looks familiar because it's the same dialog that was used for create appointment group in the old scheduler. But the difference is you didn't have to go into that scheduler button to get to this. You're right in your calendar. You just choose appointment group. We'll give it a name, such as office hours. Location. I choose the course that I want this to be associated with. I can enter a range of times. So let's say I wanted to offer 30-minute slots for students between 4 p.m. and 6 a.m. After I press this go button next to divide into equal slots of 30 minutes, it changes it into the expected 4 time slots that are a half hour each, 4 consecutive time slots. I only want one student to show up for office hours. I don't want other students to see who has signed up for time slots, so this won't be, and this won't be checked. And I want to make my students make a choice. I don't want students to camp out on all the available office hours. They get only one of these on my office hours for May 11th. If I had any details, such as bring your paper to go over with me, I could do that here. And then I can publish the appointment group. There's not a save versus save and publish in New Scheduler. I'll come back to that point in a minute. So as I was saying, a benefit for the instructor is that these newly created time slots, those are there right off the bat. So I'm no longer doubting, hey, was that successful? And I can see them in any view, the week, month, or agenda. So let's switch over to the student now. So now I'm a student, and on my dashboard, I go to the calendar. Here's a power user trick that students can use. other than from your calendar, the other place where you can get to an appointment group is from the syllabus tab of a Canvas site, if your professor has that enabled. This is an old test course of mine, so they're all here, but the appointment groups show up here as something you can click. And when they take place in multiple days, you can tell it's an appointment group because there's 2 dates shown here, the earliest and the latest date of the appointment group. So either by clicking on the link in my notification or by clicking the link in the syllabus, or I'll close this by going into my calendar and pressing Find Appointment and choosing a course. Those are the 3 ways that I can get into the Find Appointment mode as a student. Notice here how it's giving a tip saying the next available appointment is in the past. This is a known issue with the new scheduler, and at the end of the presentation, I'll give a list of known issues. But now I can see that I have various appointments that I can sign up for. I can tell these are appointments because of that new icon that we talked about. So here's a meal-related appointment. So I click on it and press reserve. It works the same way as scheduler used to. And then because I've signed up for it, it fades to a slightly fainter view. In the agenda, let's say I wanted this for 30 p.m. time. I want to talk with you about my paper topic. And press reserve. That's now reserved. When I close the appointments, I can now see that I have these time slots reserved, and they appear in all 3 views. I didn't have to go to a special scheduler to see my appointments. And if I need to make a change, I can just go back in to Find Appointment and switch to a different time slot, etc. We'll go back to the teacher's browser one more time, and I'll refresh it to see the results of this these 2 signups. So my test student, Harriet 133, did sign up for my lunch, and Harriet has also signed up for my 5 p.m. Office hours. The group details button, as I mentioned before, is where, as the professor or TA, I can create additional time slots, maybe change a few settings if I wanted to. Not every setting can be edited. If I wanted to add more office hours on a different day and say this is applicable to another range of things, I can. And then at the bottom, I have that status report across all the appointments in this time slot of which were reserved and which were not. At our institution, professors will use this for facility scheduling or expense reimbursement. So it's become a useful add-on. And with all of this, I haven't had to go to a list of appointment group names. It really feels like part of the calendar. So that's been just a benefit of the new scheduler workflow being a much more natural interaction in the calendar. So that is my live demo. I have a few more of the slides. And then before we wrap up, we'll take any questions that people had posted in the event Q&A. So as I said before, there is this idea was developed in partnership with the product team, and you can read about their thinking in making appointment sign up become more naturally part of the Canvas calendar on this page, the Canvas scheduler calendar integration. The documentation team, led by the amazing Erin Hallmark, developed lessons that are specifically for institutions who have chosen the new scheduler workflow. And how you can tell that these are about new scheduler rather than old scheduler is that the lessons say in a calendar, in a course calendar. So as an instructor, the steps for creating a scheduler appointment group in a course calendar, that's the steps for new scheduler. Similarly with editing and the feature to remove a previously signed up student is preserved in new scheduler. For students, if they had used scheduler before, they probably have seen the lesson, how do I sign up for a scheduler appointment? And that old one is called in the scheduler page. If you switch over to new scheduler, they will use the steps for a scheduler appointment in the new calendar. And that's what this looks like. Starts with a disclaimer about schedule is an optional feature. And steps through everything we just saw, using find appointment, selecting the course, next available appointment, reserving, and then seeing available versus ones you already have, rescheduling, and then closing the find appointment mode. And the end result is that your appointments that you signed up for show up with that checked but calendar icon. Unreserving works intuitively as well. Just find my slides one more time. This one, it was that one either. Almost got it. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. I have to find my slides. There it is. And as I promised, here's a list of the known issues. You'll be able to get these slides from the Canvas Live event page. And if there's interest, I'll be happy to even share my issue numbers with you if you want to open tickets with your Canvas support to report the same issues. You'll be notified of the fixes. As I said earlier, there is no draft state for appointments in new scheduler workflow. That is currently intended functionality. It's not a bug. With unifying appointment sign up as part of scheduler, because there's no draft state for regular calendar events, there's no draft state for appointment groups in new scheduler. So what that means is that you currently can't build all the options for your appointment group, leave it saved but unpublished, and then go in and publish it right before you want students to sign up. As currently designed, it's intended that you fill out all your options, and as soon as you press publish, students are notified that they can sign up. They'll see the find appointment button in their calendar. They'll see the appointment group link in their syllabus. If this is of interest to you as much as it is to me, definitely post it in the chat so we can get to know each other at some point. I can envision a feature idea around calendar draft state, but there isn't one today. So now we're getting into more of the things you need to know, some of which are bugs. Oops, this is on the slide twice. I'll fix that. It can feel like you can only add one time slot to an appointment group at a time. It doesn't work the same way as it did in old scheduler. While they work on that, a great Canvas support engineer suggested a workaround, which is that when you need to create more than one appointment in an existing, more than one additional appointment in an existing appointment group, the thing to do is to split as many appointments as you need, or divide as many appointments as you need, and then edit those to make them fit the pattern of time slots that you wanted. that place where you select which course or section the appointment group will be for. Right now, the checkboxes for selecting those are aligned a little funny, but that is on its way to being fixed. Next available appointment pop-up tip for students, as we saw up at the top, was showing past appointments, not future. I anticipate the fix for that will come along with the fix for this bottom issue here, that students are able to reserve appointments that are still available that are already in the past. That was broken in the old calendar and then fixed, but it's broken again for both old and new scheduler, and we're hoping those two will get fixed together. Then two other little disconcerting things that I'm confident will be that if you as a teacher wanted students to see who else was signed up for time slots, that works before they press reserve, but not after they press reserve. And depending on what you needed a student to do, that can be really confusing. You know, if they're expecting to join a presentation time slot and know who their teammates are, that was the particular way in which this became confusing for us. And then finally, the group appointments disappearing after a student in a group reserves that time slot. That's a temporary thing. It goes away when you refresh the page, but it's another one that's confusing, and it's one that they're working on fixing. An existing idea to improve this feature really applies both to old and new calendar. A lot of professors that I've worked with, as well as a lot of people in the community, have said, wouldn't it be nice if I could, as a teacher or TA, sign up a student that I know is going to be coming to a particular time slot, or change a few more of the group details for my appointment group. And so this feature idea is in product radar stage right now, and you can vote it up. So B-Right, were there any questions?
There was a question from Jennifer Crawford, and she asks, is there a way to print off a list of appointments? This is a question she gets a lot from her users.
There is, when you go into, when your institution takes new scheduler, you get as part of your group details, and it is indeed printable. So here's what I have shown our professors that they can do. We'll go into the unlimited salad appointment group because it has more signups. So I'm going to click on any appointment in the group in whatever view of the calendar that I have, and then press group details. And then I scroll down, and at the very bottom, there's the summary. So I can just highlight all of this and press print. And voila, a printable summary. You don't have to do that highlighting. Not every browser works that way for selective printing. If you print this, the group details, the last page of it, or it could be multiple pages if you have tons and tons of time slots, will have that summary of appointments. And this has been a very, very nice improvement with new scheduler enabled. We're really, really happy to have it.
Rob, another follow-up question from Jennifer. Would observers be able to sign up for slots so that parents can sign up for conferences, not just students?
Not currently, and that's when I put up the final version of the slides, that's another one that I'll link. I'm going to go out on a limb here and see if I can find it. Okay, this isn't it, but there is a newer feature idea. Maybe it's linked here at the end. That is about that. Yeah, that's not it either, but yes, it has been suggested. And I don't know if there are any mobile users out there. What I believe I have not seen is a idea for scheduler in the parent app. That I think could be amazing for facilitating student-teacher conferences, but it is not here yet. For now, regardless of old or new scheduler, the ability to sign up for appointments is available just to the student role and any custom account or course rules you've built, which are synonyms of student.
Yes, and that was going to be my next suggestion as well. You pretty much addressed it. So if you were to build an observer type role based on the student, then that's where in the permissionings you could potentially customize that role to do what the students can do.
I'm going to try one more time to see if that is going to come up. I know I've seen this. I'm just not putting in the right search terms. So, oh, allow parent accounts to use scheduler for parent-teacher conference. Nope, that's not it either. That was from last year. I do think this is around. So if you come back to the event page in a little while, I should be able to add that.
Perfect. And if anybody has any additional questions as well, please feel free to add it to the event page. Rob will be keeping an eye on that and continuing the conversation there as well. Any other questions?
Absolutely.
Great. It doesn't look like there are any other questions. Let's sort of go to that last slide, Rob, and wrap up the session. But if there are any questions, by all means, we're all in the community, so we can all mention each other and we'll get the response as quickly as possible. Rob, thank you again for another great session.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, we always love having you in Canvas Live. We encourage everybody to get involved in Canvas Live. Of course, go to live.canvaslms.com and follow the space. Every time we add a new event on the calendar, you'll be notified. We have a Canvas Live user group, so if you're ever interested in sort of collaborating with a team of participants on a session, you can go there and connect and brainstorm from there. And then, of course, we have our Canvas chat room, so you can always connect in real time with some of our users and to get additional conversation going. Thanks again, Rob, and thanks to everybody for being here. We hope to see you in a future Canvas Live session.
Yes, thanks everybody for attending. Really enjoyed showing this off to you.